Climate change is an issue that unfortunately finds itself at the back burner, and increasingly so because of the Russia-Ukraine war. But here at WION, we have been highlighting stories that focus on the need for climate action every day without fail. And today we focus on the link between cryptocurrency and climate change. Before I tell you more, here's a look at what's lined up for you here on WION Climate Tracker. Cryptocurrency mining is a process to create new digital coins and verify transactions on the blockchain. And as we understand, cryptocurrency mining consumes a great deal of energy because miners use powerful computers to solve complex maths puzzles and earn new crypto tokens. It is highly energy intensive and seriously a big deal. Let's talk about Ethereum. A single transaction on Ethereum currently requires as much power as an average US household uses in a week. Also, it has been estimated that the Ethereum cryptocurrency network uses as much electricity annually as the country of Bangladesh. Isn't that massive? All that energy, of course, comes with a lot of carbon dioxide pollution that's damaging to the climate. Time and again, this has sparked criticism from some investors and environmentalists. But now we have some positive news from the crypto sector. Ethereum, the blockchain that underpins the world's second largest crypto token, will soon undergo a major software upgrade. And this shift is known as the Ethereum Merge. In other words, the Ethereum blockchain is due to merge with a separate blockchain, and this will radically change the way it processes transactions and how new tokens are created. The new method will eliminate the need for powerful hardware and massive amounts of electricity to create new coins and carry out transactions. According to the Ethereum Foundation, the new system will slash the Ethereum blockchain's energy consumption by 99.9%, and that's a great claim to make. Ethereum backers say the merge is a monumental moment for the crypto sector worth $1 trillion. Ethereum backers believe the energy-saving upgrade represents a major step forward in the race to become the world's top blockchain. Well, the Ethereum merge could help fix the environmental problems. Experts believe that it could make networks more vulnerable to attacks. So it remains to be seen how successful this transition really is and what new challenges it could bring along. For more on this, with me on the broadcast is Remy Bourget from Paris. He's an economist and tech expert at the French Institute for International and Strategic Affairs. Thanks very much, Remy, for being here. Bitcoin alone consumes 150 terawatt hours of electricity annually. That's more than the entire country of Argentina, for example. Can you help us better understand the energy needs of the crypto sector?
The problem with the crypto industry's energy consumption is really caused by its mechanism, the proof of work mechanism, in which miners have to solve extremely complicated mathematical puzzles to have access, to be recognized as miners and to be rewarded with cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin or Ether. And that costs a lot of money and energy. And it has really become out of control over the years. If you compare that with the original days of the crypto business and the crypto activity. So there's been all the discussion over years about the switch to proof of stake, where people would be recognized as miners and not based on their ability to solve huge mathematical puzzles with extremely fancy and expensive equipment, but just based on their involvement, on their holding of the cryptocurrency. So that would cost about 99% less energy. So it would completely change the discussion, I believe, really on the energy efficiency or inefficiency of cryptocurrencies and crypto architectures.
Right. Let's talk about just how promising this new breakthrough that the crypto's power needs could be reduced by 99% really would be.
Clearly difficulties with the shift. It's an experiment, like everything in the crypto world. It's about experimenting. We're not sure how it's really going to unfold, how smoothly, what kind of difficulties they might have in the transition. But of course, I mean, if it succeeds to make an existing system switch to a much more efficient and energy saving one, that would really be very promising. It means these crypto systems, architectures could be much more accepted. There would still be an array of issues related to instability and their exact role in the economy and in finance. But that would really be a step in favor of what is often called Web3, or more generally decentralization. And so that's really a very, very important experiment for the crypto world at the moment.
Right, and not just crypto. Google's data centers around the world are using about twice as much electricity as the city of San Francisco. Can you tell us more about how these tech giants plan to go green?
It can be related really to a change in the architecture, of course the use of those systems. It's a bit of a new debate. It's something that hasn't been really addressed very directly, but it's extremely important with the skyrocketing growth in internet use, online, video services, video conferencing and everything, and all the talk about the metaverse that would completely change the landscape again for energy consumption related to the internet broadly. So, I mean, this discussion is really just starting. Clearly, we are really on an unsustainable path right now with all the projects that are going on, all the computing power that is required for all these innovations and projects like the metaverse. And some change will really have to be implemented on this front.
We're leaving it there for the moment. Thanks very much for being here on the broadcast. We're moving on for now. A few days have passed since Apple launched its latest flagship lineup. Multiple things have been said about whether the iPhone 14 is worth spending hundreds of dollars on. There are excited loyalists, there are also critics, none of them really talk about an emerging debate. What are the environmental consequences of bumping up your smartphones? The latest iPhone has a slightly smaller carbon footprint as compared to its predecessor. The iPhone 14 accounts for an average 61 kilograms of carbon dioxide in its life cycle. That's 3 kgs less than iPhone 13. Almost 80% of the phone's carbon emissions are released during its production. Some might say the purchase of a new device will obviously not reverse the emissions, but the fact is it will help to limit how many phones are made in the future. A large chunk of the CO2 emissions released in creating a new smartphone coming from mining the rare materials inside them. A report says buying a new phone takes as much energy as recharging and operating a smartphone for an entire decade. And in the last few years, Apple has been trying to clean up its act on the environment front. The tech giant claims to use 100% recycled rare earth elements in all iPhone 14 magnets. Note that the magnets represent almost all of those rare earth elements in the device. 2 years ago, the company also announced its plans to go carbon neutral by the end of this decade. This included zero emissions on all fronts, from manufacturing supply chains to product life cycle. But for now, the phone is adding up to the environment crisis. It can be argued that until there is a dire need to upgrade, you can give the planet a breather. Shifting focus now to South Asia, where record monsoon rainfall and floods have been wreaking havoc in Pakistan. Nearly 1,400 people have lost their lives in this catastrophe. Hundreds and thousands of them have been rendered homeless. And now, to avoid further loss of life and property, authorities are planning to breach the country's Indus Highway. This will allow the floodwater to flow through and will prevent flooding in the town of Dadu. The Indus Highway is a key transport link in the country, and at present it is submerged at around 3 points in Dadu district. There has been no traffic passing through the highway given the flooding situation. The deadly floods have washed away homes, roads, livestock has been impacted, railways, crops in the district and nearby areas as well. Sindh specifically has seen 460% more rain than average. Government officials say they have provided all the machinery and material required to build a barrier to block water. More than 200 inmates from the Dadu jail located in the Sindh province have also been moved to a different city.
At the moment, 90% of district Dadu is underwater. It is inundated. Only 3 major towns, I would say, Dadu, which is still under threat. We are trying to protect it by erecting a ring embankment. Mehar is another town. Mehar town was also given a ring dike to protect the urban areas. And Johi town also went, and we also provided them with all the machinery and funds to construct a ring dike so that the major towns could be saved.
Meanwhile, the PTI chief and former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan held a second international telethon to raise funds for the flood victims. Khan raised pledges worth over $22.6 million during the first event. He had raised over $22 million for the flood relief operations. UN agencies have started assessing Pakistan's needs in order to develop a post-disaster reconstruction plan, and Pakistan has estimated the cost of the damage to be around $30 billion. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says the flooding was the result of climate change and adds that he has never seen climate carnage at this scale. Guterres has urged the international community to do more to help countries hit by the impact of climate change. Moving on for now, in recent years, Africa's lake Tanganyika, the world's second deepest freshwater lake, has swallowed entire homes and roads, leaving scores of people homeless. And experts say climate change, atmospheric disturbances and issues related to geology are to be blamed. Our next report telling you more.
This is Lake Tanganyika, the second deepest freshwater lake in the world. It is shared between 4 countries: the Democratic Republic of Congo, Tanzania, Burundi and Zambia. But now, these giant waters are swallowing homes and roads, leaving scores of people homeless. Experts say the waters have risen by over 5 meters in recent years. Persistent heavy rain, floods, strong winds and geological shifts are seen as major factors behind this. The worst affected are the inhabitants of Kalemi. Kalemi is a province in Democratic Republic of Congo located on the shores of this water body. Alain Sikuli is a local here. He points to heaps of debris of destroyed homes on the lake's shores.
Look, here was a very nice house. Look, on the other side, all the people have fled. We don't know where we can get help so that we can rebuild. Look at all this closely. We are living through a nightmare. Tanganyika has destroyed us all.
Local politicians are now calling the situation a humanitarian emergency. They're urging the Congolese government to step in.
This is a humanitarian emergency. You know that these people have lost their homes, their belongings, and today most of them are almost abandoned. I think it is important and urgent for the government to be able to provide the solution to our fellow citizens in distress. And we, the elected officials, have the responsibility to say so, the responsibility to challenge the government, the leaders, so that they can come to the aid of our fellow citizens and find solutions to the problems that are festering Tanganyika, especially concerning this problem of the rising waters of Lake Tanganyika.
Among those trying to come up with solutions is former Provincial Minister of Tanganyika, Kaluma Abedi Ibrahim, previously oversaw infrastructure, urban planning, land affairs and habitat. On his office walls are plans for the reinforcement of the lake's shores. He says that as of now, there are no plans to drain the lake. He said the Democratic Republic of Congo and places such as Kalemi have been disproportionately affected due to geographical factors. The official warns the situation could deteriorate further in the next 5 years if swift action is not taken to find a solution. Bureau Report WION, World is One.
The Congo Basin is the world's second largest tropical forest. It is twice the size of Arizona. It is home to gorillas, elephants, buffaloes and other endangered species. The Congo Basin has come under human threat amid deforestation, poaching and the impact of climate change. The world's second lung is struggling to maintain its rich biodiversity.
Spread across 6 countries, the Congo Basin covers an immense area and is home to a dizzying array of species. Inhabited by approximately 10,000 species of tropical plants and various animals, people have been living in the basin since the beginning of human history. And though there has always been a balance maintained in the forest, of late as loggers and farmers increase deforestation and push ever deeper inside the forest, there have been growing concerns over the future of the forest. Further, with the DRC's population of about 100 million expanding, the world's second largest tropical rainforest faces more threats. In a bid to protect the rich biodiversity of the Congo Basin, scientists are examining the forest with the help of a tower bristling with sensors in the Yangambi Reserve.
The exploitation of wood energy to make firewood and agriculture because of demographic pressure are major factors that cause deforestation. So the CIFOR project is working in this direction to limit its 2 major causes. 3, if you like, with the exploitation of timber and deforestation.
The scientists aim to study the rainforest's role in climate change, a subject that received scant attention until recently.
We
are beginning to see evidence that the Amazon is becoming more of an emitter. And so a lot of the efforts of scientists and researchers are aimed at the Congo Basin, and in particular the DRC, which has 160 million hectares of forest that is still in a state that is capable of absorbing and contributing to this fight against climate change.
Though flux towers are common worldwide, Congo had none, until one was set up in the Yangambi. Interesting data was revealed after the tower was set up, making the scientists certain about one thing. Around 30 billion tons of carbon are stored across the Congo Basin alone, which is roughly the equivalent of 3 years of global emissions. Bureau Report, WION. World is One.
With rising global temperatures and its impact on sea levels, small countries like the Maldives are left to fight their own battles. And taking matters into their own hands, the government of Maldives has come up with new ways to protect the marine life there. Take a look.
In a bid to find new ways to protect the island nation's marine life, the RV Odyssey and its crew in the Maldives is ready to explore parts of the ocean no one has ever seen before. Plunging straight into the deep and unknown parts of the ocean, the mission, which will last for 5 weeks, is aimed at collecting data which will further inform government policy on actions needed to protect the Maldives and its precious ecosystems.
The goal of this mission here in the Maldives is to do the first systematic survey from the surface down to about 1,000 meters. There's very little data known about what lives below 30 meters here across the entire Maldives. Now, the Maldives is a country that's 99% ocean. It's also on the front line of the climate crisis. The people of the Maldives have done very little to cause the climate crisis, and yet here in the Maldives, we're on the front line. The ocean is rising, and it's going to hit places like the Maldives first.
Equipped with submersible vehicles, camera systems, and baited underwater remote sensors, the mission aims to explore, inspire, and generate more information about what's lurking in the depths of the ocean. But why now, you ask? According to the government, a bare 2 degrees Celsius rise in global temperatures would be a death sentence for the Maldives.
The difference between 1.5 and 2 degrees for Maldives and for many small island states is a death sentence. So there's nothing more important for us as a civilization to address. Climate change is our biggest, single most challenging issue of our generation, and we are also the last generation to be able to make a difference.
The Maldives stands at an average of 1.5 meters above sea level, meaning climate change spells trouble for the entire country. Made up of almost 1,200 islands scattered across 90,000 square kilometers of ocean, the shallow waters around the Maldives are home to thousands of species of marine life such as tuna, sharks, sea turtles and eels.
So there is a rise of sea level that will certainly impact Maldives. And when I talk about this, I'm not referring to only a gradual rise, but also increased probability of storm surges related with the tropical cyclones and different kinds of storms in that region. So this will be a more potential for coastal erosion and impact on low-lying regions.
And while the world continues to try and tackle the climate crisis, small countries like the Maldives are left in the front lines to face the brunt of climate change. Bureau Report, WION. World is One.
On that note, it's a wrap on this edition of WION Climate Tracker. This is me, Molly Gambhir, signing off. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned to WION World is One.